goal is to bring you your next favorite band. The other element that we bring in for this particular show, embracing this gratitude thought, is understanding that there are people who are less fortunate, whether it's homeless or simply just being not able to put enough food on the table, especially in the holiday time. So we do like to celebrate our local shelter and food bank, New Bethany. But the other element of that too is not everybody is in the Lehigh Valley area or even Bethlehem, because each town has their own. We also wanted to kind of highlight where they get their food from, so that if you're so inclined to make a donation to somebody that is helping whatever neighborhood you might be in,
Right.
there's an organization called Feeding America. So the executive director of New Bethany is Marc Rittle. And so this is a quick little video that he goes into New Bethany, and then he also kind of shares some additional details about Feeding America. So let's take it away, Mark.
Hello, my name is Marc Rittle. I am the executive director for New Bethany in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I wanted to wish everyone a happy holidays and also ask for your help. New Bethany is an organization that helps people with food and housing every day of the entire year, and especially this time of year, the winter season, coming onto the holidays, and in 2024, when so many families are struggling so much, we're asking for your financial help. If you live locally, you can also help us by dropping off, canned goods. You can volunteer with us. It's something that we will take, especially this time of year and the whole year along. And also we could use your financial donations as well. So Phil is going to tell you all exactly how you can donate to New Bethany. And I just wanted to say thank you in advance for your support.
New Bethany offers hope and support to people experiencing poverty, food insecurity, and homelessness. It starts with a meal and other street-level human services, including showers, laundry services, mailing address, and access to our choice food pantry. And continues with housing assistance, job search support and tools, and case management. From there, our wraparound services build trust and identify additional needs so we can help our neighbors reach the highest level of safety and self-sufficiency possible. We believe that all people, regardless of circumstances, should be treated with dignity and care without judgment. No one who seeks help is turned away.
Tell you a little bit about an organization called Feeding America. Feeding America is how food gets distributed across the entire United States. It's a national organization, and I think it's one that you should consider supporting during the holidays. And I really want to thank Phil and team for your work to support Feeding America. And in case you are wondering how that flows locally into your town, wherever you are, is that the dollars and the food from Feeding America nationally goes to regional food banks across the entire country. And those regional food banks then distribute to smaller local nonprofit organizations like mine at New Bethany. And so if you're giving to Feeding America, you are also giving to organizations like New Bethany. So I just want to thank you in advance for your support.
So there's Marc Rittle, executive director of New Bethany, giving a little bit of the backstory of his organization, New Bethany, here in Bethlehem, that provides all those services that you heard. But every town has one. So seek that out if you, again, want to know more about that and support their efforts, either with donation of time, donation of money, donation of resource, or you can also kind of go and support Feeding America, because that's, when I brought up that organization with Mark, he said that's where 70%, and he might have said that in the video, I can't recall whether it was something he just told me in a conversation, 70% of the food that they get for the food bank to supply to the people in need comes from the organization Feeding America. So real quick, I wanted to kind of bring up each of those websites. This is the New Bethany website. And so here is where you could come if you want to learn more about them. And the donate now button is right here in the upper right. That's how you can do that. Or they've given us a text to give code. You can see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen, or I did put it in the chat. It's not going while I share the web page. But it's you could text next fave band to 41444. And then it would just track it. And we don't get anything of it, of course. It's all going to the organization. But it allows us to kind of track the amount of donations that are happening because of this initiative. And we just like to do that. We always like to beat last year's number. And then Feeding America is this organization. And because it's Giving Tuesday, actually, right at the top of their site, they're showing you that you can make a donation and it's going to be double the impact. And so it looks like every $1 provides 20 meals through this giving organization, because they probably have some corporate matching opportunities going on. But a wonderful organization, and one to learn more about for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you have choices, right? And both are great choices. If you want to support just the sort of larger reach, because you know it's going to distribute to where the greatest need is, Feeding America,
Yeah.
that's a home run. If you also already know of your local organization, they can always use your help. And if you can do both, that's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. There was one other thing. This is actually, it's funny I can say this phrase. This is from 2 years ago. But the first year that we brought New Bethany on, Mark had shared these statistics with me for their specific organization. And so this is at New Bethany. If you donated $25, that's 10 meals to food insecure people. $85 would support a client for 1 month. $510 supports a client for 6 months. And $1,020 supports a client for a whole year. And that's like, if you think about the cycle that person goes through, they go from homeless to transitional to maybe on their own feet, but they're still going to need help and support, whether it is clothing or food or what have you. So very often these are people with children, who also need their kind of like the additional support there for that aspect of things. So lots of amazing things that New Bethany and other organizations like them throughout the country do. So we always want to kind of spotlight that a little bit here at this time, because again, right off of Thanksgiving into the holidays, to remember how lucky I am. I'll just speak for myself, and to know that there's other people who could, use a helping hand.
Yeah, and they talk about the things that, it's easy to talk about the things like they need food or they need clothing, which are great, and they're always going to be useful for that. But they also provide services, and that's where the financial support
Sure.
comes into play. Things like the mailing address they provide for people so that they can get on, the certain needs they have to find a job, or they provide laundry services, things like that, that are the kind of things you need to do to reorient yourself and get back on your feet.
Absolutely. So again, texting Next Fave Band to 41444 allows us to track that. If you want to just do it directly with the organization at either the newbethany.org or to feedingamerica.org, we just simply encourage you to see if you happen to have the means and you happen to have either the time or the resources to give to organizations like these that are making a huge difference across the country.
Yeah, please.
Absolutely. So thank you to Mark for all of that info and for taking the time to record those videos. I think that was incredibly helpful. And then obviously for all you do throughout the year with you and your team. So